Hello aspirants, so welcome to the class guys. In this class we are going to discuss about branches of anthropology. In the last class we have discussed meaning, scope and development of anthropology. In today's class we are going to discuss about branches of anthropology. So according to the Penniman, he has classified different phases to explain anthropology as a discipline. Once the anthropology has been established as a discipline, many of the anthropologists has decoded and divided the branches of anthropology and as well as sub branches. The major branches in anthropology include first one you can consider as biological anthropology, second archaeological anthropology, third cultural anthropology, so fourth linguistic anthropology. As we have discussed in the previous class, the biological anthropology deals with the biological origin of the people, evolution, genetic variation and physical development of the people. So that is the basic point you need to remember. Next, archaeological anthropology includes the human past and as well as study of material remains of various section of the people in different areas. All the time it discuss about the material remains, whatever the artifacts used by the people with respect to their livelihood and different types of monuments, historical monuments, sites can be understood in a more scientific manner as part of archaeological anthropology. Next one is cultural anthropology, deals with the study of human societies, beliefs, values, customs, institutions and way of life in different societies. And last one, linguistic anthropology, consisting of language, its origin, structure as well as meaning, communication, thought process of human with respect to the communication, everything will be dealt in linguistic anthropology. So these are the areas in which anthropology is being studied. So based on their applications, the branches are being divided by the different anthropologists. So here the one of the major anthropologists who has classified or popularized for the first time the anthropology with respect to socio-cultural anthropology is E.B. Tylor, and the L.H. Morgan is also one of the particular prominent anthropologist who is considered to be called as a earlier anthropologist in America, advocated for the formation of discipline anthropology, and he was also most famous anthropologist in the socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is Franz Boas. So he was the first person scientifically decoded the branches of anthropology like cultural anthropology, biological anthropology, archaeological anthropology and linguistic anthropology in his book called as the Anthropology and Modern Life, and at the same time same thing advocated in the mind of primitive man. So these are some of the basic points you need to remember with respect to the how the anthropology has been evolved and the different branches of anthropology. So currently we will take each one of them and try to discuss so what is the corresponding the meaning of each sub branch, and at the same time different types of methods used, different thinkers part of it, at least some examples and applications. So this is the structure we follow for each and every particular branch of anthropology. So here first one we will start with socio-cultural anthropology. So socio-cultural anthropology, E.B. Tylor is one of the person popularized the socio-cultural anthropology for the first time. As I have said, it includes culture, society, institutions, beliefs, values and human behavior across all the societies. So that is the basic meaning or dimensions in which the socio-cultural anthropology deals with. Later different types of anthropologists has done certain research and expanded the scope of the socio-cultural anthropology in different applications. And at the same time, so this socio-cultural anthropology try to give you the understanding how people live, think, interact and organize their social life. So that means many of the section of the people have their own lifestyle, they are creating their own culture, belief system is being created by the people based on their cultural setting. So here the anthropologist will try to understand how the people are, how their lifestyle, and decode the information and in a scientific manner with the help of a discipline called as socio-cultural anthropology. And here what it studies. So what it studies in the sense you can see the culture. So culture is nothing but, according to the Supreme Court or anthropologist or sociologist, it is considered to be called as a way of life. It consisting of many type of institutions. People are also part of it and they do perform certain functions in each and every institution. So here institutions means you can take marriage, family, kinship, all these are considered to be institutions. So most of the time they try to create certain customs. So customs in the sense the people in the society following the practices by each and every section of the people, then we call that practices as customs and traditions. And at the same time they are creating certain art forms, music, language is also being created by the people for their communication, for their livelihood. So all put together is considered to be called as a culture, which is one of the major area of study in the socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is about the society. So in the society, how the people are maintaining relations. So what is the status of the people? What is the role of people? So there is a one thinker called as Ralph Litton. He has trying to explain the status and role of people in the society. So how the inequalities are being created. Example, caste system is one of the major feature of Indian society. So how it has been created, how the dominant caste functions are, and how the lower castes are facing certain problems. So these all parameters are being understood in a scientific manner, and that was explained through a concept called as, or through a particular parameter or through a particular approach in the study of society. So this is one of the area of study in socio-cultural anthropology. Next one, institutions. So there are many institutions, as I said. Some of the major institutions are family, okay, and kinship. How the people are been maintaining relationship can be analyzed with a concept called as kinship. And then marriage, religion, politics, and economy. So every particular institution has its own functions, and all institutions function randomly. So like that of human body has organs. Every organ has to interact with each other. Any failure of one organ have a severe implications on the lifestyle of humans. So that's why here what you need to understand is, so when the institutions are being created by the people, all institutions are created are interconnected. Any disturbance in one institution will affect other institution. So like a car is moving with a four wheel, any of the wheels was been removed, the car will be disturbed, the stability of the car will be disturbed, it cannot move. So that is similarly you can apply to the social institutions. So institutions are the foundations for the development of society or the culture. So that's why here institutions a study is also considered to be part of the socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is belief system. So belief system in the sense whatever the people have created certain rules and regulations which are need to be followed by the people so that they can attain social stability, so they can live peacefully, and accordingly they can address any type of problems. So as part of religion, the belief system is being created. So every people have their own ideas in the different societies. They believe spirits, gods, moral values, myths, and worldview. So this particular belief system will frame certain rules and regulations. What should be the behavior of a person, what should be the functions of a person has to be performed in the society. So that is analyzed by the anthropologist in socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is values. So these values will give you the standard of the people who are living in the society. Standard of values in the sense standard of the standards of what is good, what is right, and what is desirable and what is important can be understood in the following different types of parameters. So like for example, kindness, love, and as well as compassion. So there are many values in the society in which certain section of the people are been following. What are those type of values in their particular society can be analyzed in a scientific manner. Next one is human behavior. So finally, so how people are able to think in different perspective in different conditions. What are the basic reason? So there is culture personality school. one of the school, how culture is influencing the personality of the people and how personality is influencing the culture, vice versa. So that is one of the theory which will try to help you to understand how the human behavior is changing based on the cultural setting of the people. Also can be analyzed by the anthropologist in socio-cultural anthropology. So this is considered to be area of study with respect to the socio-cultural anthropology by the anthropologist. And here culture means all the time you try to remember it includes beliefs, values, customs, tradition and material culture. So here already I said other particular parameters. Material culture means it can be of any particular physical thing which is helpful for the livelihood of the people. So for example, here you can consider houses or any type of goods which you produce, money, etc. are considered to be called as a materialistic culture. Non-material culture means any type of the belief system, values are considered to be called as a non-materialistic culture. So here culture can be divided in different ways, so that we will be discussing later. Currently you try to understand all these are considered to be part of a culture, and this culture can be learned by the people and accordingly transmitted from parents to children, and it goes on. So that's why culture is considered to be one of the component which can be learned by the people, and accordingly it can be transmitted to the next generation. Then only the society can be survived, otherwise it will decline over a period of time. So that's why the study of culture is the prominent important element in the socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is about the social organization. So social organization is nothing but it includes family, marriage, kinship, groups, community structure, etc. So this social organization will give you the how the people are forming certain groups, and in that groups what are the different types of institutions, how they are being related, everything can be analyzed in a social organization. It will try to examine how societies are organized, how societies are following certain rules, what are the basic understanding cultural setting of the people can be understood once you study these social organizations. Even institutions can also be studied with the help of various methods and understand the how society is been forming. Next one is about economic systems. As part of the socio-cultural anthropology, so we try to study the economic systems of the different societies. For example, production, different ways of production followed by the people. It may be the goods what they produce, service they produce, and at the same time after producing certain goods and services in different societies, it will be distributed to the different section of the people, how the distribution takes place, and later we will try to understand what are the different types of exchanges. So once the goods are being produced, markets are considered to be place where people try to exchange goods and at the same time the money. In modern days we call money as a medium of exchange. In market is a locus of exchange, so in which people go for market to get the goods, and in place of goods they are giving the money in the modern days. Earlier it is a barter system, they used to exchange the goods from one person to another person. So that is considered to be, so one of the point you need to remember with respect to trade and market. So this trade and market is undergoing certain changes. From ancient to modern days we have different types of trades and markets are being created, and those markets facilitate the exchange of goods for different section of the people. In tribal societies, what are the different types of exchanges followed traditionally by the people in different societies? So every particular society has their own way of living, so that's why exchanges are also will be different. For example, production is there in India and China. These two countries has larger population. If you consider what is the basic consumption of the food means rice and wheat, so which is been helpful for the people to sustain their livelihood. So that's why the China and India are considered to be largest producer of rice. So similarly, if you go to the colder regions, the livelihood food consumption will be different from that of tropical regions. So that means based on the geographical reasons or availability of resources, your productions undergo certain changes. So that's why here all these are considered to be some of the dimensions in which the anthropologists try to study and accordingly understand the economic system, not only in the tribal societies or primitive societies. So they will try to understand the modern day system of the trade, and at the same time the trade has been expanded because of globalization. So most of the people are being communicating, exchanging goods with the concept called, it can be analyzed with a concept called as globalization. So it will facilitate the trade. So here all the time whenever there is an economic system, it is the material needs which are being considered to be called as the basic means in which the people all the time focused on. So because whatever the goods produced, we call it as a materialistic aspects. So that's why to satisfy the material needs of the people, so people try to produce the goods, consumption the goods and exchange the goods. So that's where the trade and markets are being come into the picture. So that will be analyzed as part of economic system. Next one is political system. So political system in the sense, the currently if you consider the administrative structure of the system or government, there are three organs are there: legislative, executive and judiciary. So here this is considered to be the administrative structure which was been created in the modern day state societies or the centralized societies, or you can consider nation states. So that is the structure which is followed in most of the countries in modern days. But if you go to the primitive societies, tribal societies, there is a different political setting is being followed. So those type of information regarding different types of political systems can be analyzed, and in that we will try to concentrate on power, authority, leadership or legitimacy, and governance and conflict resolution. So these are the areas in which we try to understand the political system. And at the same time, so in tribal areas, they don't have any constitution, written constitution like that of the modern days. So then how the people are being controlled, how the social order is being maintained, and what if at all any person is been committing crimes, what is the process need to be followed for the justice. So justice in simple societies is also been analyzed as part of political system. So here the objective of this understanding of this political system means every particular anthropologist want to understand how the societies are maintaining social order. Social order in the sense peaceful living conditions are present in the tribal societies or any primitive societies. What are the reasons behind it? Why they are been not having any conflicts like that of modern days? So the conflicts are very less in the tribal societies or the primitive societies. What could be the reasons? How the rules framed by the people are been controlling the behavior of a person? It can be analyzed as part of the political anthropology, which is sub branch of socio-cultural anthropology. Here we are calling it as political system, the area of study with respect to socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is you can see religion and ritual. Okay, so religion is considered to be one of the parameter or the dimension or the institution, so in which most of the anthropologists are fascinated, because every particular society or culture in different parts of the world have one common thing. Some of the basic social institutions are present like marriage, family, kinship. Along with that, religion is also one of the important one. So every anthropologist are fascinated about this religion, their practices. So how the religion has been created in the ancient time. So ancient time, the basic resources available to them and thought process available to them is very minimal, but in spite of that they have created some of the practices, and slowly it led to the formation of religion. For example, in religion we try to understand beliefs, rituals, myths, ceremonies and sacred symbols. So that means religion is considered to be the basis for the formation of culture, transmission of culture, and we can understand the culture of the any type of societies once we try to understand the religion, because whatever the rules and regulations framed by the people are mostly derived from the religion, because every person has a certain the fear that if you make certain mistake, the God will punish you. This is the particular phenomenon every person believes. So to avoid any type of the conflicts, to avoid any type of the mistakes, crimes, so because people try to avoid them, because they have a belief system that God will punish them. So that's why the people are maintaining social order in the tribal societies or in any of the particular societies. So for example, if you take Hindu social system in the current modern setting, so people do good actions. Why? What is the reason behind it? Because the people has a fear that if you do wrong things in current situation, current life, then there is a one theory called as karma theory. It will say that if you do right actions in current context, you will get better life in the next life. So that is the karma theory. So because of this karma theory, the behavior of a person is being regulated through religion. So that's why every particular anthropologist want to study this religion, because everything is related, life of the people is related to the religion. So that is the reason they are been concentrating on this particular religion and try to understand the basic meanings, basic values, and myths, ceremonies, sacred symbols followed by the people. So for example, there are many sacred, as I said in the previous classes about the sacred. So sacred means anything, functions performed related to the religion is considered to be called as sacred. So even the symbols which are been part of the religion will be considered as sacred. So these symbols has given a scope for the spread of religion, and at the same time symbols in the sense it can be any of the symbols like swastik symbol or cross symbol or any type of symbols which were being used in religion is being considered to be called as sacred. And accordingly, those symbols which are being followed by the people and worshipped by the people, creating a belief system, creating rules and regulations to control the behavior of a person in the society, and accordingly the basic customs are being determined, traditional way of life has been determined, followed by the people, and it is transmitted from generation after generation, is considered to be one of the basic feature with respect to the religion analyzed by the anthropologist. And it examines the meaning, morality and social cohesion of the people in the society. So that is the importance of the religion. Next one is language and communication. In socio-cultural anthropology, so we will try to understand the language. So what are the languages used by the people, how they are communicating with each other, and then so how language is giving cultural identity. So for example, India is considered to be a land of many languages. So when you are speaking one language, the person will come to you and say you are a specific person belonging to that language. If you are speaking Telugu, so Telugu speaking people, they call it as. It is creating a sense of identity. So how this particular language is unifying the section of the people, and how it is creating identity can be analyzed in the linguistic anthropology as well as socio-cultural anthropology. And at the same time symbolic interactions, you can see in the religion, so they have given different types of symbols. Every symbol has its own meaning. So you can see traffic symbols are there, you can see hand gestures are there, religious symbols are there. Every symbol has its own meanings. So those meanings will be analyzed by the anthropologist in the socio-cultural anthropology, only to understand that how the people are been communicating, how the people are conveying the message. So these symbols are very important in the modern days, because there are many symbols with respect to the companies are being created. So those symbols will indicate the functions of the company, so the functions of objectives of the company, and they try to promote that symbols, and eventually it will lead to the sense of identity for them. So that's why the symbols are very important in the modern days. Even it was been followed in the ancient period as well. So language is considered to be the carrier of culture. If there is no language, then the culture may decline at a faster rate. So because of language, the people do communicate, maintain relation, transmit the culture from one generation after generation easily. If there is no language, it will be very complex. Over a period of time, the meaning of the symbols or meaning of any of the particular cultural element undergo changes, and the meaning will change, and eventually culture may decline. So that's why language is very important part of the culture. So that is what advocated by the anthropologist. These are some of the areas with respect to the socio-cultural anthropology. So we are been concentrating. Next one is globalization and translationalism. So here globalization means migration. So movement of people from one place to another place. Most of the time people are moving from one place to another place in search of work, education, better opportunities. So if you see there is a legal migration is there and illegal migration is there. So sometimes refugees are allowed by the countries, but some of them are illegal refugees are present in many of the countries. So for example, in current context, India and Bangladesh relations, if you consider, many of the Bangladeshis are residing in India illegally without any permission. So that is considered to be one of the major problem for the government. In that context, what should be the approach need to be followed? What should be the steps need to be taken to restrict this refugee movement, illegal movement into India? should be given by the anthropologist. So that is the area of study with respect to the socio-cultural anthropology. How the people are moving from one place to another place. What are the basic reasons for the movement and why the people are being migrated. So basic reasons for every person is like for employment purpose, for study purpose, for health services purpose, etc. Tourism purpose. They try to migrate and settle there sometimes. So once you settle there, the culture will be developed, unique culture can be developed, composite culture can be developed. That is a different context. But in current context, migration is considered to be so one of the positive thing and as well as negative thing. So if you are migrating to US, you are a skilled person contributing for the development of the USA, then it is considered to be positive for that country, and it is considered to be helpful in the development of the culture and country. So that is a positive migration. There is a negative migration like illegal refugees, so which is affecting the government policies, government projects, because government is framing certain policies and as well as distributing resources to all the section of the people in that country. So illegal migrations are coming into the country, then the distribution of resources will be affected. Eventually some of the people has to end up in poverty. So that's why migration can be of positive and migration can be of negative. So these are some of the areas of research study in the socio-cultural anthropology as part of globalization and transnationalism. Next one is like diaspora. So diaspora are the people who are living in different countries. So that means Indians who are residing in America and other countries are considered to be called as a diaspora. So these diaspora is considered to be the people who are living outside, but they have still strong emotional tie-ups with their motherland or their ancestor land. So that is what called as a diaspora. So because of which the diaspora is considered to be one of the area of research, because some of the people in recent past from West Asia or North Africa migrated to Europe, settled in Europe. So at least for 30-40 years they got citizenship as well. In that context, what they are doing is like they are asking to create separate country. So that means what does it indicate? So people are migrating to other country and asking to create separate country for the countries which have given asylum. So that is the current scenario or current problem faced by the Europe. So these are some of the problems, global problems. Migration, illegal migration is considered to be a global problem. So that is being studied in a scientific manner with respect to the socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is global network. Okay, so global network in the sense it can be of business, it can be of politics, culture, technology, social life of the people, everything is connected. So global network in the sense you can consider social media. So because of social media, people are been interacting with each other and building the relations. If it is of positive, then it will be fine. Then if at all it is affecting the policies of the government, then automatically it will create certain problems in the society. So for example, if I take Cockroach Janata Party, it has been created in social media like a revolution. Many people have enrolled it. So in a hypothetical condition, if at all any of the other countries are utilizing these people unknowingly, so then it will have a severe implications on the government, because they are asking to agitate against the government. If all the section of the people are being united and agitating against the government, it cannot run and the governance cannot be delivered to the public. So people all the time has to come to the agitations. So all the time they have to come to the roads to agitate against the government. The governance will be affected. So in a way, the Cockroach Janata Party has certain objectives to highlighting the problems of the society. But in that context, there is a proper methodology, proper approach has to be taken. Otherwise, it will have a severe implication. If at all any non-state actors like Pakistan or USA, any countries are manipulating them unknowingly, then it will have a severe implication on India. So that is one of the problem might arise over a period of time. So all this has happened only because of advancement in the technology and the advancement in the social media. So that type of area is also been considered to be studied by the anthropologist in socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is cultural exchanges. So what is this cultural exchanges? In the sense you have certain ideas, values, traditions, media and practices across the cultures. So these particular cultural exchanges can be one of the basic feature followed in recent past. For example, if you consider, there are many diaspora present in different parts of the world. The diaspora in the sense Indians has resided in different parts of the world. The Indians are present in Mauritius, Fiji Island, and USA, UK, etc. They have spread in different parts of the world. So if you take as a reference, okay, then they try to do a cultural exchanges over a period of time. So UK and India has cultural ties since ancient time onwards, or not ancient time, in modern days, during the modern period. And Italy and India has the ties from ancient period. So maritime Silk Route is been one of the way in which people used to travel, and eventually the goods from India are being transported to Italy. So this ancient ties are being revived, and accordingly people to people contact is been increasing in recent past. So then if these contacts are being restored, how the cultural changes occurred? Because every time the culture undergo changes because of economic relations. Whenever the trade happens from one particular society to another particular society, the culture or the lifestyle of the people undergo certain changes. So how they are been undergoing changes because of cultural exchanges can be analyzed in the socio-cultural anthropology. So impact of globalization on the societies in the current context because of advancement of technology, so will also be studied in socio-cultural anthropology. Next one is like so research methods. What are the different types of research methods which are followed in socio-cultural anthropology? So for example, first one is like ethnography. So ethnography, already I said, detailed study of any of the particular people, society, or a group of section of the people in their daily life, explaining in a detailed manner, is considered to be called as ethnography. So this is considered to be one of the important particular research method followed in socio-cultural anthropology. So in that ethnography, the participant observation and interviews, surveys, and as well as comparative method. So participant observer means, so the anthropologist will directly interact with the people in their own cultural setting, get the information, decode it, and accordingly produce the theory. And interviews, so one-to-one interaction, so between two people, and anthropologist will ask the question, if at all it is from own language, learn the language by the anthropologist, and they ask the questions, or there will be some interpreters are there. Through interpreter, they try to interview different section of the people and get the information. And here structured, semi-structured, structured type of interviews are being conducted, and it is considered to be one type of research method. So next one is surveys. So surveys is also considered to be one of the approach to get the bulk information at a time. So that is called as surveys. So you can consider census operation is also considered to be called as one of the survey. So in which the people data from different parts of India are being collected. For every 10 years it is being released. And next one is comparative method. So this comparative method was proposed by the E.B. Tylor. So remember this one, comparative method, E.B. Tylor. So in here, once the E.B. Tylor got the data, what he is doing, he is trying to compare the one society with other. What is the similarities, what is the differences. So based on that, he developed a unilinear evolution. How culture has been evolved means in a unidirectional. That is what the opinion of E.B. Tylor. How he was able to explain that culture has evolved in a unilinear. So by comparing different type of societies, what are the different types of institutions which are followed by the people from the different periods are being analyzed by the E.B. Tylor, and he said that the culture has been evolved from the savagery, barbarism, and civilization. These are the stages he explained. Savagery, the basic minimal lifestyle of the people. For example, you take the corresponding economic system. So economic system, how it has been evolved, if at all the culture is being developed by the people. So economic system, if you consider hunting gathering, so is considered to be the first type of economic system. Later it can be of agriculture, later it can be of industries. So this is the evolutionary pattern. So Morgan has expanded it, that is different classification, but E.B. Tylor has given that the earliest stage of economic system which was followed by the people in any of the societies is like hunting and gathering. So in the prehistoric period, people doesn't have any knowledge. So in that context, what they used to do, they will hunt the animals for their livelihood. So that is called as hunting and gathering. After that, hunting and gathering, so agriculture, settled life, which was started in Neolithic, and then so in modern days, industries are being established. So different types of goods and goods are being produced. So this is a evolutionary process which was being advocated by the E.B. Tylor, is been explained with the help of a comparative method. So because of comparative method only, unilinear evolution can be explained clearly by the E.B. Tylor. So that is the basic point. And comparing the similarity, understanding the similarities and differences in any of the societies, so you need to know about the comparative method. So these are some of the basic points need to be remembered, different types of methods. There are many methods, I have mentioned few of them. In research methodologies chapter 8 paper 1, we will discuss, there are many number of methods are there, in that we can discuss some more. So more number of methods. Next, major anthropologists. So here you can remember E.B. Tylor, Franz Boas, Malinowski, Margaret Mead, Clifford Geertz. Every person has distinct style with respect to their contribution to anthropology. So for example, E.B. Tylor, so he introduced a concept called as psychic unity of mankind, in which people think in a similar way. So because every society, wherever society you go, so you will find marriage, family, kinship. All these are being found in different areas, okay, different societies. So that means humans are thinking in a similar way. That is the opinion of E.B. Tylor. And here that particular concept of thinking in a similar way is being explained through a concept called as psychic unity of mankind. And comparative method, already I have said, I am not explaining again. So it was explained by E.B. Tylor. So that is the reason he was the first person to explain the culture in a scientific manner. That is the reason he was considered to be called as father of cultural anthropology. Okay. Next one is Franz Boas. So in the last class I have explained you cultural relativism. So studying the society in the people's point of view, so without incorporating any of the anthropologist views in the study of culture. So that means you should understand the culture in the people points of view, that is in their own terms. So not in Western standards, not in anthropologist opinion. So that is considered to be called as cultural relativism. He is the first person to advocate fieldwork tradition. So in Eskimos he has collected the different types of artifacts and try to produce a theory considered to be called as historical particularism. So that means for anthropologists, if you want to develop any theory with respect to the understanding of culture, you need to do field work. That is what advocated by the Franz Boas. There are many contributions for the Franz Boas. Try to remember these 2 points, very important points. So he was belonging to historic particularism school of thought. Next one is Malinowski. He belonged to functionalism school of thought. So he advocated for the again fieldwork tradition. In that he proposed participant observer. You need to go to the people and understand the people culture, get the information, decode it, produce the theory. So that is considered to be called as the participant observer. Next, he studied one of the islanders in the Pacific Ocean, that is considered to be called as Trobriand Islanders. So whatever the theories he produced, it was based on the study of this Trobriand Islanders. And we will discuss, when we discuss about the functionalism, so in that context we will give elaborate information about contribution of Malinowski. So currently you try to remember, he advocated participant observer based on the fieldwork conducted in the Trobriand Islanders. He belonged to the functionalist school of thought. Next one is the Margaret Mead. So she belonged to the culture personality school of thought. Culture personality school of thought. And she was also very prominent anthropologist, so female anthropologist. So in culture personality school of thought, and as well as on the whole, she concentrated on gender studies and adolescent studies, particularly in Samoa. Samoa is also one of the island in Pacific Ocean. She went there, collected information and explained how the adolescent children in the Samoan island and in other countries like USA, she compared and tried to give how the adolescent style of life would be in tribal life or tribal society. So that is what been advocated by Margaret Mead. So many of the concepts also she was been part of it, national characteristic studies and etc. So here what you need to remember is like all these anthropologists are giving contributing different types of methods with respect to scientific study of life of the people, and that was been incorporated as a discipline in socio-cultural anthropology. And that means all these concepts led to the formation of anthropology as a discipline. That is the very important thing. And Clifford Geertz is also one of the person. So he was considered to be part of symbolic anthropology, Clifford Geertz. So he analyzed different type of symbols and their meaning, and he advocated so one of the method called as thick description. Thick description in the sense, in whenever you are doing any field work, collecting information, explaining that particular information in an organized scientific manner, then you need to do each and every particular you need to get the each and every particular detail in a organized way, in a scientific manner. That is considered to be called as a thick description. So these are considered to be some of the contributions of the anthropologist, and accordingly they advocated for the formation of anthropology, for address anthropology as a discipline, and it addressed many type of social problems in the contemporary world. So that is the basic point you need to remember. So this is with respect to different types of methods and anthropologists related to socio-cultural anthropology. And this socio-cultural anthropology has many applications. So one is public policy and healthcare and education. All these are considered to be some of the points you need to remember. So public policy in the sense the welfare programs. You can remember whenever government is framing any programs, particularly MGNREGA. So it was renamed as VBGRAMG in current context. So here this MGNREGA has been framed as one of the government scheme to provide wage employment in rural areas. So 100-day wage employment in rural areas. So in that context, what has happened? Here what you need to remember is like MGNREGA. Okay, so in the MGNREGA, once this program is been implemented, how the lifestyle of the people is undergoing certain changes. For example, you take caste system as an example. So caste is being formed based on occupation. You need to do the specific occupation, then you belong to one specific caste. That is the basic perception in which the formation of caste has been evolved over a period of time. That is known to everyone. Okay. Next, if you bring MGNREGA and implementing that program in your particular village, then people are leaving the caste based occupation and moving to the MGNREGA will be the change which can be occurred in the society. So if you are moving away from your caste based occupation, the caste relationship among the people will be disturbed. It undergo changes. So that means in the current context, government is bringing various types of welfare schemes, programs, which is impacting the culture change. Traditional way of approach of life of the people is undergoing certain changes. Same as the case with the tribal development and governance. So then here what is the role of anthropologist means? A role of anthropologist will help you to understand how the program has to be made, first thing. And anthropologist has broader idea about the communities, or what is the living style of the people, and how the resources has to be distributed in a scientific manner will be explained by the anthropologist to the government. Government can comfortably frame the policies which are being scientifically approved. Policies can be implemented in a right way without wastage of resources. So that's where the anthropologist, socio-cultural anthropology is helpful in public policy. Next one is like healthcare. So you know, medical anthropology has been developing in recent past. So in medical anthropology, we will try to understand not only about the causative disease, we will try to understand how it has been spread because of cultural reasons. For example, COVID-19 taken as an example, it was been originated from China, everyone know. So why it has been spread? So there are two theories are there. So one of the theory is like it was been out from the testing lab, that is one theory. Second one is many of the bats are having different types of viruses, COVID-19 is one of them, and it was being spread in the wet market. So wet market in the sense fish market. So and eventually people consume that fish, in that some of the goods are being consumed by the people. Eventually the people in that region got affected and it spread to all over the world. So that means what you need to understand is, here in medical anthropology or epidemiological anthropology, So anthropologists try to understand the biological reasons. So what is a causative agent, how it is affecting the human health, everything will be learnt. Apart from that, they will try to understand what is the cultural reasons, how the cultural reasons has led to the spread of COVID-19 in different parts of the world. That will be analyzed in the socio-cultural anthropology. And these are some of the areas in which the government can focus, and in that areas what are the steps need to be taken if at all any pandemic like COVID-19 is being arised in the country. So in that case, anthropologists are very much helpful. Socio-cultural anthropology concepts are helpful with respect to the healthcare policy and culture competences. So every culture has its own way of style of dealing the different types of diseases and providing health services. If at all any best practices are there, that can be decoded, and accordingly it can be used in a traditional way of medicine provided by the government to the people. Example, Ayush. Ayush is considered to be the corresponding the framework or the policy which was defined by the government, so that traditional medicines can be taken to the people at affordable prices. So that was been advocated by the government in recent past. So that's where the culture practices followed by the people in different areas, if at all it is helpful for the government and the people, it was being taken as a good practice and expanded to all over India. So that is what been advocated by the anthropologist in healthcare. It improves the healthcare delivery and as well as understanding the beliefs, practices and patient needs, and accordingly the people are being treated. So that is the basic thing the anthropologist will do. Next one is education. So in education also, based on the cultural setting of the people, we can frame the education policy. We can advocate inclusive learning, and indigenous knowledge about different specific problems can be understood in a much better manner. Because for example, if you go to the tribal areas, the people are not being sent to the schools because already they have learning centers. They try to understand the culture of the tribals. So coming to the modern schools is a tough job. So in that case, what should be the approach need to be followed by the government is being advocated by the socio-cultural anthropologist, and accordingly the apprehensions of the tribals can be reduced and tribal children can be provided scientific education. So these are some of the applications you need to remember with respect to socio-cultural anthropology. Even in the corporate sector, business anthropology is very much helpful. Corporate sector, human rights understanding and culture heritage, protection of the culture through museum. What is the scientific methodologies need to be followed with respect to the artifacts, historical artifacts can also be explained in a much better manner in the socio-cultural anthropology. So preservation of artifacts is also part of it. So these are some of the applications. I hope I have given elaborate understanding about the socio-cultural anthropology. Tomorrow we will discuss other particular 3 branches of anthropology: the biological anthropology and linguistic anthropology, archaeological anthropology. Thank you.